Hi, I'm Saul Goodman. Did you know that you have rights? The Constitution says you do.
Actually, it doesn't. Hi, I'm Paulo Shawn, and in this rant, I'm going to be going over some of the changes which modernize the Constitution and make it fit with current America. But Paulo, you say, the Constitution is perfect, you say. It was made by our founding fathers and based on liberty and freedom and justice and blah 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 blah. You're right, but this piece of legislation was made almost 3 centuries ago, and it's outdated and lame. I'm here to fix it. So as you probably know, not anyone can just waltz into the US and become president, but our current criteria on who is allowed sucks. As shown above, the natural born citizen clause prevents anyone of whom was not born in the US to be elected president or US territory. And back then, I guess it makes sense, but now, in a country as diverse as America, it's utter malarkey. Look at little Timmy. He's over here losing his opportunity to become the next Lincoln because he was born in Somalia. I shake my head. Look at Ted Cruz. He was born in Canada. Not saying I support him, but like, just saying. I propose that we scrap this idea of natural born and allow for all US citizens to be elected and run for office. What this would do is create a wider pool of available candidates and also those who see America as a second home for them to act in the better interests of America, as opposed to more corrupt individuals. Okay, next problem. The Commander-in-Chief clause. So, I mean, this basically says that the president has uncontested power over the Navy, Army, and militia in times of need. And so we saw firsthand how this can develop into an immoral abuse of power during the Vietnam War, where Kennedy, Johnson, and Nixon alike all deployed millions of troops to their doom despite immense public backlash and ultimately led to failed objectives in Vietnam. Furthermore, the Constitution itself is also super vague about the specifics of these powers and how much the president can actually do. This has led to much debate and possibly an overextension of this power by past presidents. However, in an ideal society, the people of America should also have some say, but they essentially voice themselves through the president as they were the ones who elected him/her. And so I'm not going to add any change of which involve the people. I feel it's not necessary. Furthermore, the president alone should not be solely responsible for the safety and security of their country's civilians. That is more so the duty of the government as a collective, which is why the commander-in-chief should be a collective role rather than an individual. This change would allow for swifter and more calculating decisions during wartime, as you have multiple parties giving an input, so smarter and more concise decisions, and governments taking further consideration and being more aware of the people's needs. So just one more point, after 9/11, the president was given even more power in terms of commander-in-chief and such, but it has been 20 years and the war on terror as a priority as relevant to the United States has significantly died down, and so the president having that much power is, just unnecessary. Part 3, weird age limits. So right now, the minimum age eligibility for becoming president, a senator, and a House of Reps member are 35, 30, and 25 respectively. And so I don't know why they make it so complicated, as each position is integral to the function of an ideal government, and you don't want a loose screw in it. And so I think to fix this, election age eligibility for all representatives should become standard instead at 30 years old, as that's the average of the 3 current ones. Right now, only 17% of all our federal workers are under 35? It's super low. My change would create further diversity within our higher government, as we don't want a bunch of corrupt, rotting, old farts calling the shots all the time. We need some young blood in there, and a healthy balance would allow for the government to thrive and compromise towards the needs of the common good. 30 is also an appropriate age of which I feel people have matured enough and experienced enough in their life to make rational and cohesive decisions. They are not a young adult anymore, so they're not like a little immature brat, but they are young enough to kickstart their potentially wonderful career as a representative. Alright, amendment time. So the first amendment which needs to be added to the Constitution is the Equal Rights Amendment, and this has a long history of support. Its campaign beginning all the way back in 1972. Dang. Basically, what this will do is give legal equality to men and women alike in terms of divorce, property, employment, and so on. This is something which should have been outlined in the Constitution, but our founding fathers were menonists rather than feminists. It's 2022. We shouldn't hate or prejudice or stereotype anymore. To get the Constitution with the times, we need equal rights. Not only would this help modernize the Constitution into our current era rather than the 1700s, but America is the land of equality. With such a diverse population, it's our duty to ensure no minority or party is being unethically preyed down upon and targeted, especially because of factors out of their control. Furthermore, not just from a legal standpoint, but it would act as a turning point in the eyes of many. Since Seneca Falls, now true equality protected by the law would be manifested. There is a large sexism issue within the US, and this has been cause for constant debate. By passing this amendment, we squash the beef and become better united as a country, as a people. We have a Civil Rights Act, but where is our ERA? An example of how society would improve is how the ERA would allow for individuals who are better suited for the job to be employed rather than just be turned down because they're a girl, which is a very, very common problem in America. Alright, secondly, America needs an amendment protecting the unborn. The recent Supreme Court case of Roe v. Wade ruled abortion as a state decision rather than a federal one, and this consequently led to various states restricting abortion and making it an illegal practice. This opens a dilemma as some just aren't ready for motherhood, and thus the baby would suffer and not be properly cared for. Our new amendment would focus more so on how to alleviate the subsequent effects of this fallout, such as ensuring the mother and baby financial support, guaranteeing them parental support if the mother would have to work, protected maternity leave, and universal pre-kindergarten, and so on. The fact that the right to abortion is being stripped away, but legislators still have not done anything to basically protect these struggling mothers and babies is messed up, but that's why this amendment is crucial. This amendment's effect on society would solve that problem, as it would allow for urgent relief and support to mothers unfortunate enough to deal with such a predicament. Alexa de Sanctis, when asked about a hypothetical constitutional amendment, stated, "The word person shall apply to all human life, born or unborn." By this reasoning, the unborn would be defined as a real person by states who outlaw abortion, and thus killing these unborn is murder. So, wouldn't it be just as bad if that person was then not given proper opportunity and care? The unborn or the babies should at the very least be given sufficient support by the government for a healthy upbringing, and this amendment does just that. Alright, I'm Paulo T. Shawn, and these are my edits and new amendments of which I would add to the Constitution. Obviously, I am super qualified, and a lot of research was put into this, so thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Oh my god, is that George Washington? Yo, what's up, bro? Can I get that script real quick? Sure, man. I really appreciate what you did back there in 1776. No problem. I'll see you later. Wow, what a great name.